My girlfriend Alyssa and I are both 34 years old. We have been living together for 7 months. Despite the fact that we are not married, Alice moved in with me. We have discussed the possibility of formalizing the relationship. However, I had a need to take care of my aging parents. I recently moved to the US and suggested that my parents join me. They agreed to my proposal. I did not want to leave them alone or just provide them with a place to live, so I asked them to move in with me. When Alice found out about this, she disagreed. She stated that I couldn't just invite someone else to live with us. I reminded her that it was my parents we were talking about. She expressed her displeasure, claiming that I was putting their interests ahead of her own. She suggested that we consider a nursing home. This suggestion was sharply at odds with my beliefs. I believe it is unacceptable to leave my parents in their old age. This led to a serious argument. In the end, I declared that I would decide for myself who would live in my home. Now Alice is angry with me and refuses to talk to me. I originally told her about my decision to discuss and prepare her for the upcoming changes. I wanted to hear her opinion, although I didn't count on her approval since my parents are involved. She is not involved in paying the rent. Completely ignoring your girlfriend's feelings, you don't seem to care. Do you really think it's okay to do that? Your house gives you certain advantages. You have allowed your parents to stay. However, your partner has her own wants, needs, and feelings too. This may have come as a shock to her. She went from living only with you to living with your parents together. You didn't discuss this with her. You just decided you could do it, and you did. When she expressed concern, you asked her to keep quiet. This could lead to you ending up living with just your parents. Your future with your partner is in question. This attitude speaks volumes. If a person has the opportunity to do what they want, they will just do it. That can lead to mistakes. You are discussing marriage. It's time to consider yourself and your partner as a unit. If you're sharing living space, it's important to listen to each other. The phrase, "It's my house, so I make the decisions," doesn't work. This should not be your mindset if you are planning a long-term relationship. Discussions about marriage include discussing the responsibility of caring for your parents. By default, this responsibility is often placed on the woman. If your girlfriend has feelings, perhaps marriage is no longer up for discussion. She's free to leave. She deserves better. You may not be wrong in deciding who can live in your home, but your behavior could destroy your relationship. Next story. I have a daughter by a former spouse. We previously had a 75 to 25 custody ratio, but later the ratio was 50 to 50. Now, however, full physical custody of the child is with me. Earlier this year, my ex and her fiancé had twins, but they broke up shortly thereafter. Since she had the twins, I have remarried. My daughter has become my second or maybe third priority after her mother. She comes to me dirty and without a change of clothes, claiming she is suffering from stress because of the twins. It has come to my attention that one of my ex's twins has health issues. She claims that the funds I am transferring to her, $1,200 a month, are quickly being spent on the children's medical needs. I expressed that it is none of my business and the amount she is receiving should be sufficient. I suggested she contact her ex for child support, but she informed me that he had left the country and was traveling in Australia. I offered to increase my daughter's time with me and my ex agreed. This custody agreement was approved by the court. Recently, after an argument, she has missed time with my daughter, attributing it to high stress levels. She threatened to increase my child support after I got a promotion at work. I got angry and filed for full physical custody, which was granted, and my child support was reduced to $600. Now she only sees her daughter once a week. She claims I took her daughter away from her and blames me for her financial difficulties. Some acquaintances believe my actions were unreasonable. You're not an idiot. You didn't kidnap your daughter. The custody changes are not related to your ex's financial situation. You took custody of your daughter because your ex was not meeting her needs. Everyone knows that not even $600 is being spent on your daughter's needs. If the twins need more attention, their mother can consider Social Security benefits. She can also seek help from the twins' father. The twins' father is said to be living his best life. You've been accused of being petty, but the courts recognize your payments specifically as payments for your child. I don't mean to sound cruel, as I have children too, but the twins are not your children. It's up to her and their father to sort out the situation. People are glossing over the fact that the twins' father is shirking his responsibilities. The twins' mother may not want to sue him. She may be hoping to get him back. As far as I know, if he wasn't working in Australia, he wouldn't be able to stay there depending on the type of visa. So he must have money. Your daughter was neglected and dirty when you made the decision to act in her best interest. Usually mothers get full custody, but the court saw a problem and awarded custody to you. You are still supporting your ex, and now that you got full custody, she may have to pay you child support. Now I want to tell a different story. I have been living together with my husband for 8 years. A few months ago, we had our firstborn son. Since the baby came into the world, my husband has met several times with his friend who lives nearby. He is truly a wonderful father and cares about our well-being. It didn't upset me when he would leave for a few hours to meet up with friends. He often said he would take over childcare when the time came. The baby is breastfed and I can afford to spend my time however I want because I deserve it. I'm not sure how big of a deal this is, but no one in our family did anything special for Thanksgiving this year. We knew that ahead of time. However, my friend had a party planned with friends and we decided to go there. I knew there would be alcohol, so 2 weeks before, I started pumping milk and getting my daughter bottle trained. I was able to decant enough milk for 8 feedings. After dinner, a friend came over to my house and we had a bottle of wine. It felt like my husband was taking care of the baby the whole time, even though I was there for him too. Toward the end of the evening, he became irritable. I thought it was because of my loud behavior. I was indeed loud, I won't deny it, but our daughter has no trouble sleeping because of the noise, so she slept well. I asked what was wrong, and yesterday he irritably said it was fine, but added that it wouldn't happen again. I asked what he meant, and he said that I would soon start acting differently. Now I feel silly wondering if I'm being a fool. Oh wait, you had 2 or 2.5 glasses of wine and were having fun with a friend at your house. Meanwhile, your husband couldn't manage the baby for a few hours. Make it your regular ritual to go out and spend time with friends every now and then, letting your husband handle the baby on his own. The only mistake here is staying home. He's a good father and provider since he obviously brings money home. But he can't even spend a couple hours with an infant in their own home while you are also at home. It's too early for you to be acting like this. Don't repeat it, sweetie. I love that judgmental double standard attitude. Don't forget your dad's generous offer to take care of his kids every 5 months while mom relaxes with a friend over coffee for an hour. If my partner told me it was too soon to act like this after having a couple glasses of wine for the first time in 1.5 years and ordered that it not happen again, I'd flare up. He's not just watching his kid, he's a parent. He helped raise the child. He is responsible for the child. End of story. You have just as much right to free time as he does. You and your child both need to learn that lesson. You planned ahead. Everything was organized. Don't let him make you think you're the problem. My next story. I'm engaged to Matt. His mom, Tina, was raised by a single mom. This Thanksgiving, Tina came to visit us for the first time. Tina's upbringing wasn't easy. She made a living working in restaurants and retail. My mom is an engineer and my dad is a lawyer, so the class differences were felt. Tina stayed with us, settling in on the couch. Immediately, she tried to teach me about saving money, even though I earn more than her son. She was critical of my habits of using hand soap, kitchen towels, and garbage bags. We had a big argument over it. I hadn't paid attention to the cost of trash bags before. After a visit to the grocery store, Tina reacted angrily to my choices. I didn't buy turkey stuffing and mashed potatoes. Tina did not approve of my choice of store to buy Thanksgiving dinner. Back at the loft, she started yelling at me. She argued that I needed to be more responsible with my money and not spend her son's money. I am earning a 6-figure sum while her son is completing his internship. His salary is expected to reach or exceed mine in 2 years. Thus, the cost of milk and garbage bags are not a concern for me. I explained to her that I didn't understand what had happened. However, she suddenly cried, calling me horrible. This triggered my anger and I left the loft, after which I texted Matt about the incident. We decided to spend the night at my sister and friend's house, who live on the other side of town. They planned to join our modest Thanksgiving celebration. The next night, Wednesday, Matt asked if we could cancel dinner now since his mom was going through a rough time and he said, had added to her stress. They ate the turkey I'd cooked, and then Matt had to rush to get turkey stuffing and instant mashed potatoes. He left the purchases at my sister's house overnight. Usually Matt and my sister have a good relationship. However, this time she yelled at him. His mom left and we had to discuss our financial issues. My whole family found out about the conflict over the trash bags. Matt is thinking about calling off the engagement, knowing that my family is angry with him. My mom thinks I should reconsider our relationship, and Matt's mom is convinced I did a terrible thing by leaving her crying in the apartment. She thinks I acted like a snobby diva. You're not stupid. It's obvious, especially if you're not the kind of person who accumulates jewelry and designer clothes without using them. Buying quality goods for yourself when you work hard and make money is normal. You shouldn't be ashamed of it. You are not in debt. I don't understand why she didn't appreciate that you use top-quality ingredients. Perhaps she's used to discounted products, but you have to strive for the best for your kids. You don't want to ruin their holiday or future marriage because you paid a lot more for ingredients than she would have. Any balanced person would see that as a treat, not an insult. His mother's problems with another woman in her son's life and your domestic issues are not her concern. The fact that Matt doesn't have your support speaks volumes. You're going to marry this man, and she's going to move here in 5 years. Mark my words, it sounds like everyone is being overly dramatic. You're not the first bride to have a conflict with her mother-in-law. He's not the first groom to find himself between the two sides. Breaking off an engagement is absurd. You and Matt need to discuss this together and find a way forward. Everyone is acting like idiots. His mom because of her envy of your lifestyle, and you because of your belief that your class is higher because you make more money. Matt's mom is under the impression that you're wasteful with Matt's money. He has done nothing to dispel that perception. She's being criticized for something that is objectively wrong. You're the primary breadwinner right now. A good groom wouldn't let his mom treat his future wife like that. If Matt doesn't have the courage to stand up to his mother and wants you to remain her punching bag, that's more than enough reason to break off the engagement. A story that really surprised me. I have 2 children, an adult daughter and a teenage son. Recently, my daughter showed me comments my son had left in online posts. In them, he mocked female soccer players, saying they couldn't play soccer and should be doing chores at home. In other comments, he wrote that women are only interested in money. His words saddened and annoyed me. I tried to raise him to respect women. When I confronted my son, he explained that they were jokes and that he didn't mean anything serious. He claimed that I was overreacting and didn't understand humor. I didn't accept his excuses. After a long conversation, I decided to punish him. I took away his computer, canceled his online gaming subscription, and banned him from playing for a month. I also insisted that he stop contacting his friends online. My husband agrees that my son did wrong, but thinks I was too harsh. He suggests giving my son a chance to improve, reminding me that my son is still a teenager and will change with time. My husband suggested letting my son play on weekends and pointed out the importance of hobbies and friends for him. I, on the other hand, am confident in my response, believing that my son needs to realize the consequences of his actions. You are not an idiot. However, that does not excuse behavior that needs to be worked on. It is important to change his attitude, not just restrict him from playing and socializing with certain people. Specific friends don't change the fact that he thinks his actions are normal. First, you need to understand that she can't change his behavior or mindset by talking alone. Talking about a problem all day long does not guarantee change. This is an important lesson I learned from therapy. It has helped reduce my anxiety levels almost as effectively as medication. She can send a clear message that this behavior will not be tolerated in her home. If he goes to a friend's house, it's a different situation there. Some kids just act like idiots, and it's compounded if the father allows this kind of behavior from his son. Everyone should have boundaries in running the house. I set that boundary. There will be no demeaning of women in my home. It is usually difficult to change someone's behavior, especially in a toxic or abusive relationship. Partners or parents cannot have complete control over the behavior of others. It's time to have a serious talk with your son. His brain is forming, and it's important for him to understand why his behavior is unacceptable. I have hobbies, cleaning the house, washing dishes, etc. I would seriously scold my child for this behavior. Not only is it disrespectful, but it can become a serious problem as he grows older.